Hello guys, what is up? So I've had a few requests for a wrap up of Project Swole. First of all, I need to clarify that I do not work for Deliveroo. I've acquired this t-shirt through nefarious means. Anyway, so the summary, if you are not up to date with what's been going on so far, is that over December I was admitted to hospital. I had 10 kilograms of weight loss, my liver function was off the charts, I lost sensory and motor function of my left leg, I had an enlarged spleen, and I couldn't eat or speak, and so I ended up in this state from before and after. As you can see here, I was 78 kilos at the beginning, came out of hospital a bit of a waif at 69 kilos, and strength was way down as well. By the way, incidentally, having been in hospital with all of that stuff, guess what they wrote on the board outside my front door? Sore throat. So the healthcare assistants were coming in and they'd be like, sore throat, that's terrible, that I've had that before, it's rubbish, isn't it? And you just sat there like, ridiculous. Anyway, the strength was the biggest loss basically from this and training wise. And my max went from, and I'm going to use bench press as the example because of course it's the most important lift, went down from about 150 kilos, 1 rep max, down to first session back, 80 kilos for set of 5 was to absolute failure. And I was gassed from it as well. So luckily over the weeks, having gone from that kind of condition, I went, so here is a example of my bench press volume, and you can see that where it peaks is kind of August, November, before I got ill. You can see when I started to get ill, and then when it absolutely tanked, and then it started to come back up again. So the total volume is almost back to where it was previously. Great app, by the way, Heavy Set, worth checking out. And you can also see that I've brought the strength back up as well. Gives you an idea of the estimated 1 rep max, and the best set, most recent kind of PB set that I've done would be 130 kilos for 4. So to bring your bench press from 80 kilos effectively back up to 130 does confirm what I was saying in the previous videos, that there is a real phenomena of muscle memory, and it's nothing to worry about if you go through a rough period and you end up losing a lot of mass. You regain it so much faster than you would have if you were getting it for the first time. So the training approach has just been slowly catch the monkey, an expression that I've only heard recently and love it. I think we need to use it much more in daily vernacular. Anyway, the recovery and supplementation approach has been primarily just been restorative. So ZMA focusing on sleep, melatonin, probiotic. You can go over the specifics of that, which I go over again in video number 4 or 3. I'll link them all in the comments below. So that's the supplementation approach and the training approach. You can download the full training program in video number 2, which shows exactly what I did to get things back up and to, again, slowly restore things back up, not diving straight into heavy training and risking injury, especially because I just didn't have the work capacity for it. Diet approach has been relatively untracked, but still hitting the bases with protein and eating a slight calorie surplus. Body weight is back up to where it was now, around 78.5 kilos. With diet, if you've been tracking macros for some time, in my case for several years, then the momentum that you build and the habits create a structure without having to really consciously do it anymore, and you become unconsciously competent in that you wake up, you eat, and you naturally gravitate to the calorie target. If you were to just randomly track a few days as a sample, you'll find that they're very close to what your targets are because of the embedded patterns and habits that you've developed. So it's well worth getting a year or 2 of solid tracking under your belt so that you can then become a macro Jedi and just intuitively your body learns to eat towards those targets and not veer too far away from your goal. So what's the plan from now onwards? No more powerlifting. That's the main thing. So after this nerve root compression, losing function of my leg and still not having the full sensation back in the leg, it's been a wake-up call for me that I've done the powerlifting thing, I've competed nationally, I've had some relatively decent lifts, I'm happy with that, and from now on I need to realise that you're going to be in this body for years to come, and if you are susceptible to powerlifting related injury, then it's not worth pushing it and just staying within your limits, doing the things that you can do. So my lower body training is mostly split squats, lunge style movements, and they are certainly more than enough of a lifetime of progress with them. I'm not saying that nobody should do powerlifting, and I'll do a separate video on this. It's more that if you've had recurrent injuries and you've really not listened to your body in that time, then it's maybe a time to just say, you know what, I'm going to call it a day there and focus on training for, train a different attribute that you can do pain-free and injury-free, and that's going to serve you for the rest of your life. So the main focus now is still hypertrophy. I'm going to pull that down slightly now that I've approached roughly the condition that I was at previously, but with a much higher body fat. So this is my current condition taken today, obviously washed out lighting as we always recommend, compared to the previous one there. Obviously on the left photo I did have a pump, so that explains some of the hardness there, but it's a pretty comparable physique given the 10 kilos of weight loss, so very happy with that. I also want to start focusing on flexibility now that the sciatica has gone, and focus as well on getting flares, which are these. Oh, wrong video. So these are the flares. This was a while ago, but I would like to get these fully on the floor and dedicate some more training time towards them. Fabulous. So lots of lessons learned. If you want to find the full program that I followed and you want to basically run something like this yourself, if you've maybe had some time off training or if you've been hit with an illness, definitely check out and download the program in video number 2. I'll link them all. So in the comments here, which will be diet and training approach, supplementation approach, and the full training program as well. All right, guys, let me know if you have any questions, and very glad to be almost back up to where I was previously. So that is wrapping up Project Swole. Thank you for all the update requests, mostly beard update requests as well, and I will speak to you all very soon.